That's the system water. You can literally hear it fizzing. Here's my sample there. So now that's stopped fizzing and calmed down a bit. Pop the pH tester in. And we see we've got 10.5 pH, which is correct. So they've either left some cleaner in, or there's something in there that needs flushing out. Hello YouTube, I'm back. Famous last words. Welcome to the life of a jobbing plumber. Thanks for tuning in. So I've not put a video out for probably 6 months now. Just kind of fell out of love with social media as a whole. I have still been filming stuff and now I'm in the mood to get back into it. So I'm going to kick you off. It's going to be kind of a new format, no channel sponsors. Nothing like that, just me at work, jobs that I think you'll find interesting, you might learn something from. So we're going to kick off straight into it, no chatting. I might do a little bit of chatting at the end. The first job is, I put this out on Instagram on Saturday night and it got a lot of response, so I thought you might like to see it. Went out to a burst pipe, simple enough job, filmed it, and then I asked the question of the people watching on Instagram, how much would you charge for this job? I had so many responses, over 200 responses of people telling me how much they would charge. And it gave me the idea, hang on, the range here is so massive. It's going to give people an idea of if they're charging too much or if they're not charging enough. So I've listed all the prices and we're going to have a little chat. I'll show you the job and see what you think. And I'd love for you to comment how much you would charge for the job. And hopefully you'll learn that you're either charging too much or you're not charging enough. So hopefully it's interesting. And then there's a couple more jobs. One that I've not touched on before, we do a pH check on some system water because Glowworm Group Service came out and told the customer they needed a flush because the pH level was over 10. So there's that, and then just a normal job, fit a new radiator, fault finding on a 2-port, and a bit of siliconing around a bath. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers. Got a late night Saturday call out. Not had one of these for a while. Notice this garage here where I've parked my van. Now I'm working in this house, his next door neighbour. I'll show you the job and then I'll tell you what I've just arrived to. So we've got a speed fit socket that looks like it's come apart. Obviously it's really cold at the minute. Now when I arrived here, as soon as I pulled up, they came out of their house and said, you can't park your van there, we've got a car in the garage and we need to go out. And I said, well, I'm not leaving it here, I've just come to help your neighbour, they've got a burst pipe. Yeah, well, we've got a car and we need to go out. I said, well, are you going out in the next half hour because it's not going to take me long? Oh, well, no, but we have a lot of people just park here and leave it. I said, I understand that, but I'm here to help your neighbours, so if you need me to move the van, if you want to go out while I'm still here, I'll move the van. And then they were all right, but literally straight out on at me. Just be nice, be kind. Anyway, let's see what we're going to do here is, I've already looked at it. We've got the service valve, so just there. So turn this off. If it turns off, hopefully. There we go. And we can have a look at this without getting soaked. Oh, yeah, the fitting has just pulled itself apart. Tied this round, they did a really good job. Yeah, that's just pulled out of the fitting, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to press a socket on there. Easiest fix ever. So I just took that off. There was enough play on it for me to get my socket on, so I just have to make sure that's, you see the lines I've put there, you'll see. Pull that apart, pull it together, and then I'll press that on. There we go. Walk back on. Somewhere, can't see. Screwdriver in, there we go. No, missed it. There we go. Back on. That's it. Put this lever back on. Obviously it's not doing much. Right, so I asked a question on Instagram. How much would you charge for that job? 10 minutes, 9 o'clock at night, simple burst pipe / type repair. And this is what people came up with. Now, there's about 200 replies, probably more, but I took the most until I filled up these 3 lines and just couldn't do any more. But this is sort of your average, the general consensus of what people would charge for that job. So I thought it would be helpful for people to see, because then you can work out if you're one of the guys down here charging less or one of the guys up here charging the most, you're kind of out of the range. So many people charging this, and this has got to be what's about right for that job. Now, this will depend on a lot of different factors. Do you work for a big company with members of staff and it's a set price, or they've got a lot of overheads, probably going to be on the higher end of the scale? Are you a one-man band? It's going to be somewhere around the middle. Are you an apprentice, or plumbing's not your main job? You might say, oh, I'll nip out and I'll do it for 50, 60 quid. It could be the job's for a mate. It could be the job was for a little old lady you felt sorry for her. Use your own judgment. It could be a customer that sends you a lot of work your way. Or it could be a one-off. They've rung you. You're probably never going to get work off them again. All these things will come into play. How far you had to drive for the job. How long you were in the van for. Fuel costs, stuff like that. But generally, asking the question, how much would you charge that job? This is what people said. The most popular price was 150 or 150 plus VAT. 120 was the second most popular, and then about 100 quid. I will say that a lot of these ones down here, the 60 to 80 quids, because I know most of my Instagram followers, they were sort of apprentices. I was thinking that the big prices would be London, because obviously it's a lot more expensive to live there, but one of the 275s came from up north, so it wasn't just the London area. A lot of the London guys were the 150s. But I thought it would be interesting for you to see, because if you honestly answer that question, how much would you charge for that job, and you're saying 80, 90 quid, you're slightly too cheap, because most people would have charged 100, 120, 150. If you're way up here, you need to have a look at yourself and think, why am I so expensive? Why is that job cost a customer over £300 for me to do, 10 minutes work? It's not for me to say, but judging on the numbers of what everyone else is charging, you might be on the expensive side. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting. Let me know in the comments what you'd charge. Yeah, so this next job, the customer called me up because Glowworm Group Service had been out and told her she had a new fan, I think, on the boiler, but they also did a water quality check and the pH was over 10. So they told her they needed a system flush, because this obviously will attack the heat exchanger on that boiler. So she contacted me, I went out, and obviously the first thing I want to do, I'm not just going to flush it blind, I wanted to check the pH. So I've got this kit from Flush. Ricky sorted me out, so I can check the pH level of the water. So we do that, then we flush it, and then we recheck it to see if what the flush has done what it's supposed to do. And then obviously the next time Glowworm come out and they test the water, they're not going to say, you know, we're not working on this because you've not had the system flushed. So there's that. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. I don't think I've ever done a video like this before, so yeah, see what you think. So this Glowworm was fitted about 18 months ago, and they've had issues with it, so their group service out, and they did a repair on an F32 for it, had a new fan, but they've noted that they've advised the system water treatment is carried out as its pH is above 10. So they advised that they have a flush. So I'm just checking now. I've got this kit from Flush. VDI test kit. And I'm checking the pH of the water. So I've got my pH test meter. Now before you do a test, you have to calibrate it. So I've just washed it in clean water. That's my probe there. And then the first step here is dip the electrode into pH 7 buffer and stir gently, then wait for the display to stabilise. So this is my pH 7 buffer. So I'm going to dip that in there, stir it around a bit. And we should get a reading of around 7, because that's what that is, pH 7. Spot on. Then we go press and hold the button until the display shows cow to enter calibration mode. Oh yeah, flash 7. When the display stops flashing, indicates SA followed by end. Calibration is finished, the meter will return to measurement mode. Then we give it a rinse and dry that off. Next we go into the pH 10 buffer, which is this bluish looking one here. And that should give us a reading of around 10. And then we press and hold the calibrate button. 10. Then it should say SA again, and then end. There we go. Right, now we're ready to do the test. That's the system water, you can literally hear it fizzing. Here's my sample there. So now that's stopped fizzing and calmed down a bit, pop the pH tester in, and we see we've got 10.5 pH, which is correct. So they've either left some cleaner in, or there's something in there that needs flushing out, so we can get the thorough flush on it. I'll flush it all out, then we'll retest it and show you the new results. So I'm going to flush it out. Quite lucky, we've got connections here, isolation valves on the flow and return, so they must have flushed it when they did the job. And then there's an isolation valve there to turn the cold water off, so I'm going to take this scale inhibitor out so I can get my cold supply from here, and then I'll connect the thorough flush onto the flow and return there, and I'll isolate the boiler connections there, so we're just flushing the system. Right, and we're flushing, so you can see I've got my flow and return connected there. Boiler's isolated, so it's not going through the boiler. And we've got the mains coming from here into the unit and then out to the drain, and then I can just swap between port B and port A. So the mains comes in, hits this, it'll either go that way or that way depending on what this is set on. And you can reverse the flow by doing that, and it will send it this way and then back to B, sends it this way. So you can do one radiator at a time, flush the system, get it all that chemical out or whatever's in it causing the issue. Once I've done that, I'll refill it with fresh water, and then we'll test it. And I'm going to put some Fernox in, because that's what group service tests for. They look for Fernox inhibitor. Put some Fernox in, it's not a massive house, so probably half a tub, 3/4 of a tub, and we'll retest it again. Before anyone says anything, I've got a check valve connected to this, so if that was to go into the toilet water, we have got backflow prevention. This water, when I've started pushing it, absolutely stinks, and it is coming out when I do a different rad. Each rad it's coming out black and then it's running clear, so we're definitely getting some shit out of it. Putting Fernox in because Valent test for Fernox or group service, so they cover glowworm boilers as well. And I've got a handy little dosing point from there as well. Just drained a bit off the system, enough to let me put half a bottle of this or so. So I've just got the boiler fired up, obviously with the Fernox in, and then we'll give it 20 minutes to work its way around, and then we'll take another sample and we'll do another pH test. Okay, so I've got my sample there, calibrated it again, pop that in, swirl it around, and we've got 7.5. Just under 8. And then if we look in here, so the pH level tells you can only use these brands of inhibitor and cleaner, and we're looking for a value below 6.5 or above, sorry, in between 6.5 and 8.5. So anything below 6.5 or above 8.5 needs cleaning and treating, and we're about just under 8. I had a bit of a touch with this radiator. So the old ones come off, and these are the brackets for the new rad, but the new rad has fit on the old bracket, so I didn't even have to get my screw box out. So that was awesome. Now they've upgraded this to a double convector, so I've got a double panel, double convector to get more heat into the room. Because of that, the pipes don't stick out far enough. They're all almost there, but it would just mean they would be on the angle, so I'm swapping it. And also, there was nowhere to drain down, so none of the rads downstairs have got drain offs on. So what I thought I would do, rather than put a T with a drain cut, I'm going to try and get one of these valves in, tails with a drain valve. Now to get that, I've had to sort of move the rad over this way. I'm putting it this side because it's more accessible. And to get this one closer, all I've done, excuse my dirty thumbprint on that, clean that off in a bit. To get this as close to the rad as possible and give me more room that side, all I've done is cut a little bit off the tail. And that means my valve can go close, that's my lock shield. And then I'm just pressing on a socket and a street elbow to get me the different distance. Now, because that pipe comes out the wall and I've got a press socket on there, I've used the angle jaw adapter. So that, basically, to get me that close to the wall and press, gets you in where this won't. And that comes as an adapter. This is M profile, so you need the adapter and the angle jaw tongue. They also do V profile if you're using Conex fittings. So there's two, you can buy this as a kit. If you go, I'll put the link into Press It UK, he's selling that. Yeah, so all I've got to do now is just press, which you can get my normal jaw in, press this one. And this elbow. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120 So tighten that up, that's that side done, and then we're going to swap that lock shoe, TRV as well. Clean the pipe up because it's been leaking. Got these Pegler Terrier valves. I'm going to put one of them on. Give you an example of this angle jaw set. So I cannot get my press tool in. See how far it is off the wall because of the size of the body, and that's when the angle jaws are great. So pop that one out, put this one in. And we can get that from this angle. We can come any angle we want to press this. And then it just pops off. It is a great bit of kit and does get you out the shit. Like that. So we've got the drain off tail in, the new TRV replacing this old knackered one, and you can see on this joint, and especially on this one, we can actually get the normal jaw in to press. It's just when they're ridiculously close to the wall that you will struggle with just the normal jaw in the tool. That one there. Lovely, so they've got a nice new rad, and we can drain the whole system from that. Tidy. Another job here, so I've got reseal around the bath. If you can see that, we've got a bit of a crack there. But the other issue they've got is they've got young kids, and when the kids are in the bath and playing with the water, for some reason they're lining all their stuff on the windowsill, the little pots and the jugs, and they're literally dumping water on this windowsill. So it's leaking from there. You've got a little gap there. I'm not sure if this is, well, it feels like silicone, but anyway, I've got to reseal the window as well because of what the kids are doing. So the initial job will be, I'm going to scrape it all off, and then if I've got to clean it, let it dry while I'm doing some other bits. I've got a radiator to swap here and an electrical fault to investigate. So I'll do this first, and while that's drying, I can go and sort the other jobs out. What I do now, and I've started this end, so this bit's done, this bit's done. Now I've just ran my loose bead across, and then this BT1 stuff, if you try to just smooth it off just by applying it, it's proper sticky because it's really strong stuff. So what you do, and I've showed you this before, spray it with the multi-solve, just a light dusting over the full length. So basically I'll go, and that'll allow me to glide my tool straight over that and work it. If you don't use that, it's a bit of a nightmare to apply. So now that's on, smooth that across, and then that's pretty much the bath done, and I've just got to do the reveal inside the window. I'm not going to lie, that is one of my most hated jobs. So I'm glad it's done. Hopefully that'll sort out the problems with the bath water going over the edge. Right, so the customer's told me he's replaced one of the synchron motors. He can't remember which one. I'm guessing it's going to be one of these two, and this one's the hot water. Process of elimination. So I'm going to put the hot water on, and we'll see which one of these opens. Sure. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Strange. These are all cold. The boiler did fire. Okay, let's forget that. Let's try this one. Now I'm going to have to probably go and turn a room stat up Go on, flip the room start up. So this is the one on the landing, so the upstairs. Okay, so back up here. Okay, so these are both opened. Let's turn that back off. They've both shut. That's random. Okay, let's put the middle one on. So we're going to turn the start up downstairs. This is the one in the kitchen that he replaced. I'm just going to test this. So we've got 240 coming down, and obviously when I put the stat on and send power up, it's going to go up this one. So we'll pop this on, turn it up. So we've got an issue with the wiring for sure, because none of those have opened. I'm pretty sure that one's for hot water. Let me just go and check this cylinder. Okay, what it is, hot water. Put that on. It's got its own 2-port here, which is opening. So that's working, the hot water's working. So what it could possibly be is this upstairs one, because there's 3 floors, it probably is doing the middle floor and the top floor, and they've just only got 1 stat. If they wanted to, they could have a 3rd stat on the top floor. Unless there is one. I've not seen one though. No. That's what it is. But that brings on. Okay, so here we go. We've got my tester. I'm on the brown, which is the switch live to the 2-port. Comes up from the room stat downstairs. So when I put my programmer on, that's going to send 240 down to my room stat. Because it's calling, it's going to come back up this wire here and put 240 onto my brown, which is the switch live, which should then open this valve. So if I put that on, we've got 240 now coming up on that brown. The valve's not opening though, which means it's not putting the 240 onto that orange, which is the switch live to the boiler. But if I force it, so if I push this all the way and give it a little bit of welly, see, we get 240 and you just hear the pump quickly come on. So we're just proving that this valve is at fault. So just fix the new motor, and then I'm just wiring it in. And then to do that, to save confusion, to make it easy for myself, basically take one out. So I take the neutral out and I put the neutral in from the new valve. So the last one I've got to do is this earth here. So when I've undone that, and a lot of the time if it's really confusing, I just leave my screwdriver in. Obviously I'm doing this with one hand now, but you get the idea. If I don't take my screwdriver off the terminal, I won't forget which one I was in. There we go. And then that should come all the way out the way now, because that was the last one. And then I put my earth into there. But yeah, sometimes when there's a lot going on here, when you undo one, I mean, the earth is easy because all the earth's going together, but let's say we were just doing this brown here. You take it out and you leave your screwdriver in, then you can't go wrong. The last thing you want to do is forget which terminal you took a wire out of. Okay. Back in there. Okay. So room starts calling. Ask for heating, and hopefully, yeah, valve's opened, pump's on, boiler's going to fire. Just the job. Those of you that have stayed to the end, thank you. So what happened to B Plumber? Well, I kind of wasn't enjoying doing social media as a rule. yeah, just wasn't enjoying it. I'm still doing the job, I'm still filming the job, but I just wasn't in the mood to put out a video. Kind of lost my confidence with it. And I'm happy I've been doing so much training. I've been running, I think I've done 9 marathons now. I'm swimming 5 mornings a week. I do a 2.5k swim, 7 AM, 5 days a week at the minute. That's 100 lengths, front crawl. If you're interested, front crawl with paddles, oh my God, my lats, I can't show you, but they're like wings sticking outside of my back. I've weight trained for years and never got them as big as they have from swimming. But yeah, just been enjoying that, focusing on that. I have wanted to get back into the YouTube. So I've filmed stuff, but I thought I'll just leave it till January, I'll start again. And also I had a lot of trouble with the van. I've only just got back in this van. I had the trouble with the dashboard, fixed that. I needed a new windscreen because the stone hit it and the crack was like 12 inches. Then it needed an MOT, because I couldn't get the MOT till I got the dash done. Just a vicious circle of things. I've been using a little Citroen Berlingo. So every day, every job was just pissing me off, because if you're not in your van, it don't feel right. It's like using someone else's kit bag. So every job I go to, I'd be thinking, right, what do I need off my big van to get that job done? And a lot of the time you get to the job, oh, I've left that on the van. So you'd be back and forth and to the merchants and stuff. It's just a nightmare. The van was probably just a bit too small, but I'm back in this van now, so I'm feeling a lot better. One thing you might notice I'm going to try and be consistent with these videos now. One thing you might notice is you might see something that I've showed you before that I forgot that I've showed you. Hopefully that won't happen, but it might. And there's a few jobs that I started recording, like for example, one you'll see in a few weeks. I did a bathroom suite, and I don't normally do bathrooms anymore because I don't enjoy them, but it was a new customer. I thought I might get a lot of work from this. They're in a lot of houses, so I'm going to do them a really nice bathroom, and then we'll see. Maybe it'll be a repeat customer. So I did this bathroom. I allowed a week for 2 blokes. So me and Billy were going to go and do it. And then the customer changed the date. So I put this date in the diary. Then they moved it. Obviously, then Billy wasn't free. I'd got my diary fully booked up. So it really just messed me up. And I ended up doing that job 2 hours at the end of the day here, 3 hours at the end of the day there, weekends. And it took me 2 weeks doing that rather than the 1 full week I'd quoted. And when I started it, I had all intentions of filming it, and I filmed a lot of it, but then it got to the point where they were chasing me to get it done because it was a week ahead of over schedule. Not my fault, but theirs. And it was more about getting the job done than filming it. So I got to a certain point with it, and then I just thought, fuck this, I just need to get my head down and get it done. So that's what I did. So I might show you the half of the job that I filmed. It was a nice job, but yeah, just real life took over and I couldn't film it. So there'll be bits like that, but hopefully the stuff I've filmed will be YouTube worthy and you'll enjoy it. And if you've, like I say, stuck with me to the end on this one, let me know if it was any good, if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like the video, share it to your mates, whatever you can do to support it. Obviously it helps, and it will boost my confidence a bit because I've been away for so long. You know, do people even want to watch my videos anymore? We'll find out. But yeah, thank you, and I'm going to try my best to be consistent, and I'll put another video out next week, all being well. Cheers guys.